Hello everybody.
Hello everyone.
We are live from Alicante, Playa Mucha Vista with Boricua Francés.
Yeah.
Et we are, I switched to French suddenly, and we are enjoying apéro.
Una limonada.
A lemonade.
A lemonade.
An actual
homemade one.
lemonade.
Yeah. From the owners of the place where we're staying, he brought lemons from his house, and just had people, he was giving them away.
And when life gives you lemon, you make lemonade. So we did, and it's actually really nice, we have to say.
I'm sorry because we are having apero.
So yeah, we are.
I love apero.
So
apero.
I have thing in my teeth. So I'm having a few peanuts.
Yeah, I love apero. That's one of the things of French that I love. They even have a whole section. I think I've seen this before. They even have a whole section in the groceries for apero, and I think it's great.
So, the theme of today is not just apero or food, as one might be confused here. No. It's about the 7 months in Europe. Actually, it's a little bit more than 7 months. It's seven and a half, pretty much.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's gone. It's more than half a year already that we have been here.
Yeah. So, the topic of today is what does Boricua Francés, aka Manny, think of his time in Europe so far?
Well, I think I have to say that it's been very good, very informative, great, and it's very important that I have to remark that it's been not only this time in Europe, but what is happening in the world. Me being in Europe, that's the key that I see of it, because I even wonder how it would be differently if it was not in time of an epidemic.
That's true.
Because I feel that it has helped me and it has hurt kind of in a way, because it has helped me with some things about paperwork and so on, because I think there have been less wait of places, because
and maybe they're also less picky looking at, who, at the moment, if you want to come into France and you have, the minimum paperwork, they're not gonna look too far, I think. But anyway, maybe we're wrong. But
at the same time, like, we're going through the driver's license deal, and it's a complete ordeal, the driver's license thing, and
I don't know if that would be different out of.
That's the thing.
It seems like they say already on the website that it's going to take about a year. What was funny, can I just say that story?
Yeah.
We actually applied for the driver's license. That was like one of the first things that we did when we arrived, because we know that the international driver's license is only valid for a year. And normally when you're a resident, you're not supposed to have an international driver's license. You have to have a French license. Yeah. And for Manny, he's French, so there's, he should have a French license, and it's only a matter of transferring the US license. And we went online, we looked at all the documents that we needed, we uploaded everything, and the one good thing to say is that it's all done online. We had even the pictures, they're like uploaded
and that
digitally. And that's more recent. But then we had a proof of residence, I guess, which in France they have to have a certain. they're limited in time.
Yeah, there's a time frame.
And it's got to be less than 3 months old. But of course, they took over 6 months to look at our paperwork. So now that paper is too old. So we have to provide new one.
Translate and stuff, and to me it's interesting because, like Florence says, it started with one of the first things that started doing, and other things that we did, like the passport and all that.
Yeah, other things.
Which I thought it was gonna take forever.
No,
it's super fast, and the ID.
Like a matter of days.
Yeah.
Not even weeks.
The ID, the nationality ID also, besides the passport, all that. The paperwork in the social system, in the medical system, all that I got and everything, and then the driver's license taking forever.
Where it should really be easy because it has a license.
Yeah, so that's in the time. That's one of the things that I wonder. But it has been great, and now remember, One thing that I always want to make sure you understand, we are living here. We're living here. So although we're moving in the RV and we're doing this type of things, we're actually living here. We're just living in an RV, moving around, visiting at the same time that we work online. So it's not necessarily all the time vacationing, is what I'm saying. There's times that we are, a lot of the time, there's a lot of hours
exactly.
that we actually are working. And I just see the everyday life of people. And depending where we are, today, for example, and this week we've been in an area that it is an actual area where people come and park with their RVs and so on. So you see more kind of like people either who are in vacation or retired people that, their pace is slower, but at the same time, we are in an area where we see people going to work every morning. We even see the tram hours. Florence was telling me, the tram hours change between the morning and in the afternoon. They have more often.
And after lunch in the afternoon,
lunch
which is like 3 or 4 here.
Yeah, so that's one thing that I want to explain. So a lot of my experiences are this mix of while living here, not just visiting, but they're in a small area, meaning small area, not that small, but for the region where we are. So the one that I can talk the most is the southwest of France, the region of Bordeaux and so on, because that's where the family is, that's where we kind of have our base, and then from there we go to other places that are around there, and now we have gone all the way south to Spain, which it was part of the plan. It's just that the way that evaluated, you guys evolved, you can see it in the finances on the road.
Yeah, we'll put you the link of the video that explains the whole.
But it has been great. It has been, I think, smoother than I think. Actually, if I have to say, and but I have had to adapt a little bit to my meals because I was eating way more vegetarian than I've been eating, and also the hours. But I've had.
You mean the timing of the meals?
Timing of the meals, the timing of the meals. So sorry, and also, but I have to say that. And again, I have to concentrate mainly in France because it's where I've been. The education about food, that I have to say has been amazing. Like I think about it and I think about it. Like your own
education about food and
my own education about food and wine and the way that the food is enjoyed and respected. That's for me, is the way that is respected, the time of eating and so on. That has been great. Now I see the changes though. One of the biggest restaurants in France is McDonald's, if it's not the biggest. I see the changes, but especially I'd say that's the younger one, the younger generation. But I have to say, but even the younger generation, when they are with family, because in the family there are younger generations that we did gathering, they know, they eat everything.
I
know,
think
this is still.
Obviously, we grew up. There was no McDonald's. I remember when the first fast food restaurant opened in my town, and I was 12, and then there was one in a city of 150,000 people or whatever. But of course now these things exist. But I still think that I agree with Mary. There's an education about food, and even if you go to school and you eat at school, the meals are planned by dietitians, they cook by chefs. It's usually a 3-course meal.
Yeah,
there is a part of the
I actually saw a documentary, kind of a show, kind of those reality show, and it was about these people that were in a contest to be the next chef for one of the cities or something, for the elementary schools.
Groups. Well, it was the labeling is like for group cooking. I don't know I don't know how to translate it, but
they give the chef, they give what they need. It's gonna be kids of this age to this age, this amount of people, and each plate has to stay under this budget. And that was, I think, the really, really great challenge, because it had to be a health food, balanced food, but also under certain budget.
Yeah, and that's the big challenge in France, because there has to be a certain quality.
Yeah.
And I always tell many, it's funny because people eat at the canteen in school always complain that it's bad and it's not as good as mom's food, obviously. But then, you know, there's no comparison to a school meal, even a good private school. Like my school was fantastic. They had fantastic lunches, but, you know, a normal school meal in France is just always better. So, but anyway, that's an opinion.
Yeah. So the part of the food, I have to say that.
So I have another question. So outside of food, because it seems like it's a topic that tends to come up even when we don't talk about it. It's just there. So besides food, what would be your highlights since you've been here?
Besides food, the highlight. There are different ones. I have to think about it.
Can you pick one or two?
Yeah.
Of the things that you did, these things that you discovered, and can you pass me the I'm just reserving myself a little bit of that lemonade.
I would say that I is not, you know, I would say that the infrastructure of the roads, and especially because we've been driving a lot, one of the things that has been a little bit, it's a remark, it's not a highlight, it's been a remark, is how some roads, they seem to have been there and they have not had some work in a long time.
Yeah.
And you know, with our RV, sometimes it is a little bit scary because the roads are tight. And I'm not talking about down in the equivalent of downtown or of the village or something like that. I'm talking about in between villages when we're driving. You know, sometimes we're driving and for me, the highlight is because there's this mix, and I talked about this in one of my videos, my personal videos. The highlight for me is that here is this mix between, you know, really modern stuff, you know, in France, and things that are very modern and all that, and then these things that are kind of like you would think is
archaic.
And you would think that they would take care of it already or something, but they don't, you know. And that has been a highlight for me. One thing, I think I had mentioned this before, I think the post from the times of the years that ago, the post service.
Oh, the postal service?
The postal service, I think it has changed and it has evolved, in my opinion, from the first time. That's something that I highlight. So if I, you know, have to stand out, I have to think, because there's many things, but that is one thing. The roads, I know it's kind of like with food, but the price of things, I think has been very good, better than I was expecting. I was expecting that it was going to be more expensive. And the price of things, meaning even clothing and food, it has to be the food because it's the groceries and all that. That for sure.
And for equality, it's a value for money thing. It's not necessarily that it's cheaper, but it just seems like you pay for better quality in general.
Yeah, what I was telling Florence is you seem to find here for a fairly good price, no matter where you go, even if it's a small restaurant or a small grocery store and all that, you seem to find fairly good quality food, you know. I was having the word.
And we're back to food.
No, but it's all connected with the products, you know. Yeah, it's all connected. So that's one thing. That's what I can think about. And
and then I would say, if there was a piece of advice that you would give for people who either want to visit or want to stay for a longer time.
First thing is do it, even in these times. That's one thing I wanted to remark. Even in these times, they're very, very curious, and every country is treating. Sorry, there's one. Every country is treating the pandemic handling differently. Okay, so from Spain to France is differently. We've spoken with some people. They're from Germany, from Holland, and they're over there, and everybody thinks there's a mess.
Yeah, everybody seems to complain as a rule.
Everybody complain about their own country. Oh, that's a mess over there. Oh, we gotta get the vaccine, and we didn't, and we drove. So, I would say to do it if you need to do it. Keep an eye on the rules, but I would say do it. And if my advice is that, if you never visit Paris, it's okay, visit Paris, but you have to go outside of Paris and visit you have to visit the other cities in France, because a lot of people, when you visit France, they tend to concentrate in Paris, maybe another big city.
Yeah, even stay out of the big cities.
Yeah, but
not necessarily
try to stay out of the big cities. This is my advice, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you only have a 2-week vacation, I would say, go and see Paris, because if you're here...
And if you've never been in Paris,
it's worth spending, but I wouldn't spend more than 2 or 3 days, think of what you really want to see there. But then, just rent a car, rent an RV. Drive around,
and remember,
the places are very different, and you haven't even seen all of it.
Yeah, exactly, and it's not super
far.
big. Yeah, in comparison to the drive that we do in United States
for a weekend.
For weekends, I know for me, for soccer tournaments or band or whatever, it was like we would drive from South Florida to Atlanta in a whole weekend in a few hours after work and return. And here, that equivalent, you're in like a super
you would cross like 3 countries.
in super nice towns, and historical, history, So that that I like.
Okay, so and then what's the plan? Is there what is it that you would like? Was 3 things that you really want to see soon in France? Let's stick to France, because Spain we're gonna come back, but we're
so I want to see
like
Clermont-Ferrand is where Florence grew up. For sure, I want to see that. That's the mountains. There's a lot of history there.
Small mountains. It's a lot of volcanoes, and there are mountains, but it's not the Alps.
I want to see I just want to see the region. I want to see the region, what they call East here, or
so Alsace, Lorraine,
that area closer to Swiss, Germany.
So Strasbourg, because you went there also before, right?
Yeah, I really, really want to go there. I actually want to see, and then they're a mix. So I would like to eat an actual restaurant, at least 1-star restaurant, eat in it, and then build from there to the 3-star. But
start
at least,
with 1.
Have the experience. So already I've got the taste, and to go and on in the to-go restaurant, which is good and great. But I would like the whole experience of being in the restaurant
and hopefully the restaurant will reopen soon in France. Yeah. It's not sure yet, but
that's places. So France,
okay. I thought you were gonna bring food back and talk about Brittany and the Queen Yaman and taste.
That is all in the plan, because I was gonna say also, but yeah, that region is just that. It's just the tour of it, It's just right away I think about, where she grew up. And she has friends who live around there. I think where she has also family, which is the other region that I said, that is up there, Alsace. So. Yep.
So that's it. All right. So positive so far for 7 months.
Very good. Very good. Very good. It really has been, like I say, it's been much better than I was expecting, because of course there's things happen and so on, and in the middle of the epidemic, but it's been very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ok, bon, on finit l'apéro puis on mange?
Oui.
Ok.
Ciao.